In 1988, U of A student Dianne Abbuhl was abducted from her dorm. 5 weeks later, her body found abandoned in a remote desert area. On Thursday, September 8, 1988, at around 1:30 a.m., U of A student Dianne Abbuhl was last seen at her dorm located at 1717 East Speedway Boulevard in Tucson. Later that morning, her alarm went off and her roommate went into her bedroom to find Dianne missing. Her purse, wallet, and keys were left behind. Her friends and family alerted U of A campus police and reported her missing. 5 weeks later, her skeletal remains were found by hunters near Encendario Road and W. Pitt Chiracs Road in a remote desert area northwest of Tucson. Dianne's friends reported that 24-year-old accounting major was seen the night before at the Bum Steer Bar, located at 1900 North Stone, with a man named Doug. Doug had apparently been dating Dianne the past 2 weeks. He allegedly drove a red truck with New York plates and was in Tucson visiting his brother Dave. Many news stories were posted in the local newspapers in 1988 with sketches of Doug, but U of A campus police and Pima County Sheriff's detectives were never able to identify him. In October 2024, PCSO announced they were re-examining the case. Dianne's family has a scholarship that was set up at U of A in Dianne's honor.
Editions B2, The Arizona Republic, Monday, November 14, 1988. Best available copy. Leads lacking in death of student who vanished. Leads from page B1. Room adjoined hers told police that the last time she saw Abbuhl was about 12:30 a.m. The two women had finished watching a movie, and Abbuhl, wearing a nightgown, said she was going to bed. About 9 a.m., Abbuhl's alarm went off. The suitemate, who asked that her name not be used, turned off the alarm, assuming that Abbuhl already had left for class. Abbuhl didn't come back that night or the next, a Friday. Her suitemate suspected that something was wrong. Abbuhl did not have a car or a bicycle. Her keys and her purse still were in her room. She was reported missing. Said there were no signs of a struggle or forced entry. The door was unlocked. The way she disappeared from her room led us to believe that she probably opened the door to somebody she knew, Dianne Abbuhl said. She would never go down the hall without locking the door and carrying the keys with her. It was like she had planned to just step out for a... Dianne Abbuhl's parents were concerned from the start that the young woman had trusted someone deadly. I think if my daughter had a fault, it was that she was too willing to accept people for what they said they were, Richard Abbuhl said. I warned her before about the people she met. As Dianne Abbuhl's family had feared, police soon discovered that she had been dating a rough-looking man she had met August 22nd at the Bum Steer, a nightclub popular among UA students. Her friend said that the woman had seen the man, known only as Doug, a couple of times. Doug told Abbuhl that he was a mechanic from New York and was visiting his brother, Dave, in Tucson. He told her he planned to move to Tucson so they could be together. At first, Abbuhl liked Doug, but she had soured on the relationship and was trying to end it, friends said. One day, I was trying to call her, but her phone was busy all morning, Fowler said. Once I finally got through, I told her she was the longest-winded person I ever knew for so early in the morning. She told her that she had taken her phone off the hook because this guy named Doug had been calling. He told her that she had to get up. She hung up on him so she could sleep. Abbuhl's phone was off the hook when police searched her dorm room. I guess I hoped that something had happened that would enable us to have a happy ending, Richard Abbuhl said. I hope she had had some sort of crisis and just decided she couldn't face it and was with somebody in a remote spot. But I've spent 5 weeks preparing myself for the worst. It always comes as a shock. I don't think you're ever prepared to have someone tell you that one of your children was found dead. On Oct 13, hunters discovered Dianne Abbuhl's skeleton in the desert in the Avra Valley northwest of Tucson. As tragic as this is, and as painful as it is, at least we know that it's over, Dianne Abbuhl said. We have to make adjustments from here to try to put our lives together. Not knowing would never have allowed us to do that. We would have always continued to look and to hope. Dianne Abbuhl's family cleaned out her dorm room on Parents' Weekend. That was hard, Richard Abbuhl said. I've learned from this that you go through things that you don't think you can. You wind up accepting things because there's no alternative. Dianne Abbuhl's remains were turned over to a UA anthropologist who unsuccessfully attempted to determine cause of the woman's death. The case has been ruled a homicide. It's hard to believe that someone who would kill somebody would not do it again, Richard Abbuhl said. Nothing will help my daughter now, but I'm hopeful that they can find the killer so that he won't ever do that to anyone else. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is still searching for Doug, who is listed as an investigative lead, not as a suspect. We would just like to talk to him, said Detective Ray Pesquera, who is leading the investigation into Dianne Abbuhl's death. Doug is described as being in his late 20s or early 30s, about 6 feet tall, with a thin, muscular build. He has brown hair and brown eyes and may have a small mustache. Clarkdale School offers lunch from 4 restaurants. Clarkdale from page B1. Restaurants. Tavosky also discovered many potential suppliers. These franchisors had the facilities, abilities, and time to prepare 1 or 2 days of school lunch a week. The school district finally signed contracts with Pizza Hut, Tacos Mas, Las Campanas, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Tavosky gave them a hand too. He said the school would phone in its lunch order at 9 a.m. and pick it up in bulk containers to be served cafeteria style, with condiments, fruit, and milk provided by the school. When the program was ready for a tryout, the School Parent-Teachers Association met in special session to discuss the new approach. I was taken aback, as was everyone else, said Ricky Gibbons, president of the PTA and a mother of 7. Thinking it over, I'm glad for the employed mother who won't need to pack a lunch for her children. Surprisingly, there was only one dissenting voice, that of school nurse Maria Sparkman. Yes, I was opposed at first, but that was then, she said. Now I'm a convert. The children are enjoying lunch. They rarely leave a bite. Yet the best proof of the program's success comes from a silent witness, the garbage can containing no throwaway food. There's scarcely a scrap for a scrawny cat. On her first trip to monitor the program, Mary Leach, school lunch specialist for the State Department of Education, arrived for a Friday lunch of chicken nuggets, mashed potatoes and gravy, and biscuits. She was pleased, she said, to see youngsters eating heartily, yet acknowledged this is I'll take a long hard look down the road and see what happens. The school lunch program is in its 3rd month at the 355-pupil school and could eventually serve as a model for other small schools in Arizona. At least some of the kids think so. Charlie West, a 9-year-old 3rd grader, for instance, likes the lunches because they aren't yucky anymore. In the past, he asked to take lunch from home, but his mother Susie West says that hasn't happened this year. Alima DeSoki, 13, the 7th grade daughter of Francisco Soki, puts it another way. It's always different and yummy good. A pair for work extra. A pair a spare. Designer frames like Anne Klein, 2 pairs of eyeglasses for just 1 price. 2 for 2 offer. Select from over 2,000 frames at low prices. Many special lens treatments available that cost. 2 for 1 offer good with same RX only. No extra charge for glass or plastic lenses. 957-2020. $29. Both single vision and bifocals. $29. Eye examinations by 957-2020. Independent licensed doctors of optometry. Glaucoma test $6. 1-hour express service available. Extra. Downtown country shopping. Camelback and 57th Street. 50 Salvadorans abandoned belongings. 50 Salvadorans from page B1. Doug, this is a composite sketch of the man Dianne Abbuhl had dated. Police said he may still be in Arizona and could be driving a full-sized 4-wheel drive pickup truck of unknown make. The vehicle is believed to be reddish-brown with a maroon and white Arizona license plate. Anyone with information may contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department at the county's 88 Crime hotline. Dianne Abbuhl's family has established a scholarship fund in her memory with $5,000 donated by her father. Donations may be made to the Dianne Abbuhl Memorial Fund, University of Arizona Foundation, 1111 North Cherry, Tucson, Arizona 85721. It's so hard to understand how you can love someone and put so much concern into that person for 24 years, and then someone comes along and snuffs all that out, Carolyn Abbuhl said. 5,000 flyers, 1,000 paper, mixed colors, weights, printed one side black ink while supplies last. Save on Printing Company. Hours MF 4520 North 19th Avenue, 242-2308. Had paid October's rent and told her that they were leaving town. They requested that a cousin be allowed to sublease the apartment because they plan to move back to Phoenix. A few weeks after that, a neighbor called to complain that station wagons of people were being dropped off at all hours. Another reported that people living there kept the lights out and the shades drawn, but sometimes they were seen peeking out the front door after dark. Gerald Gilliam, Assistant District Director for the Immigration and Naturalization Services Anti-Smuggling Branch, said it is not unusual for groups of as many as 50 illegal aliens to be left at drop houses before smugglers contact friends and relatives of the aliens and are paid. Toll said she called Phoenix police and an officer told her to call the INS. The INS office in Phoenix did not answer the telephone Sunday afternoon, so she decided to investigate herself. Toll's former Peace Corps volunteer now wonders if she mishandled the situation. Only 2 people have shown up to retrieve one of the bags for a cousin. Toll said she called the police and asked what to do with the rest of the bags, but officers had few suggestions. They said I could turn them in, but then the people would never get them back, she said. I'd be willing to drop them off at a church or some agency, but I don't know where. Neighbors in area churches had no suggestions. 5 organizations contacted by the Arizona Republic on Thursday also had few ideas about how to return the bags to the Salvadorans. I wouldn't want to take responsibility for their belongings, said Susan Rascon, an attorney for the Arizona Center for Immigration, which represents aliens with immigration problems. I wouldn't be willing to receive the passports and pass them along to the governments they belong to, said Bill Cravener, acting district director of the INS. He said the passports probably helped the Salvadorans enter Guatemala and Mexico, but they probably lacked visas to enter the United States legally. Friendly House and Catholic Social Services also said they would not take the bags. The Reverend James Owens, pastor of Elzona Lutheran Church and a member of the Valley Religious Task Force, said his church would take the bags, but he had no idea how to get them to the owners. Owens, who has visited El Salvador and works with the task force's Salvadoran refugee program, said he doubts that the owners will return. We hear a lot of stories about people arriving here with one suitcase and having it stolen or lost, he said. Frankly, these people are fleeing a civil war, and unless the bag contained the address of a relative or friends here, it isn't that traumatic. Serving the entire valley since 1954, custom drapery